I made a video a couple days back discussing the Ryan Helsley deal, one that will pay the righty $14 million over the next 2 years unless he decides to opt out following the upcoming one, despite him posting a 7.20 ERA with poor peripherals in the second half and overall just not being very good in 2025. While I don't dislike Ryan's skill set, I did feel at the time this was a relative overpay in comparison to what other guys in the market were probably going to get, and I feel somewhat validated after seeing what Devin Williams, a pitcher who also struggled in 2025 but has had much better career numbers than Ryan, got paid on a new deal with the Mets, being $51 million over 3 years. It's broken up in a bit of an interesting way, with $45 million guaranteed as well as a $6 million signing bonus and some deferrals mixed in there, but at the end of the day it's going to come out to that total of 51. Much like Helsley and the other offseason big pitching signee, Dylan Cease, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to raise their eyebrows somewhat at paying a reliever with a 4.79 ERA, who just turned 30, that much money. But I actually think that this one is a pretty good deal. While yes, he certainly did struggle more in this prior season than at any other time in his career by a long shot, adding a career-high tying amount of home runs given up and his second worst whip to that abysmal earned run average, I do think that this was, overall, a bit of a mirage. You see, his FIP, or fielding independent pitching, which essentially takes out factors a pitcher can't control, was 2.68, nearly identical to the 2.66 he posted in 2023 when he had a 1.53 ERA, and actually less than what he had when he had a 2.50 ERA in 2021. This was evidence of a little bit of bad luck, as was his 3.09 expected ERA. But one thing you can't deny when looking at his advanced totals was the unsightly amount of hard contact he gave up relative to his career norm, including by far his highest numbers in all barrel metrics, average exit velocity against, max exit velocity against, expected slugging, and expected WOBA. Why was this, and is it something that's going to continue with the Mets? My reasoning, which I first offered in a video put out in the middle of the season, had to do with how often he was locating pitches directly in the strike zone, which did contribute to his first career walk rate under 4, but also a career high in hits allowed at 6.5, as well as all of those declining savant numbers, as can be seen here in his pitch distribution map. This is further backed up by the fact that his velocity and movement profiles remained relatively unchanged relative to prior seasons. I think New York already has or is going to pick this up rather quickly, and either have him attempt to locate more effectively on the edges, or just go back to his high walk, higher strikeout approach of years past. Regardless, it's a fantastic arm to be able to play with, and one that, in my opinion, very easily could be worth more than the around $16.5 million a year price point that he got paid at. If I were to give the deal a grade, I would say a solid A. It's not too long, and the Mets probably just got one of the best closers in baseball for a cheaper price by multiple millions per year than they would have paid for Edwin Diaz, despite the fact that Diaz is almost a full year older.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.